Let's get into the roads business with a couple of machines. The first is a Vögele Super 2000 3i and its NZG number 944, and the second is a Weycor AW300 which is NZG 8001. Let's now move on to the packaging. The Weycor is a small model in a small box, and unusually for NZG, it arrives in some plastic formers. These are easy to separate, of course, and you just need to do that in a way that doesn't send the model flying off at great speed. But if you keep it all under control, you can pick the model out. The Vögele Paver comes in a nicely decorated Vögele box, and inside is the more conventional pair of expanded polystyrene trays. They are marked top and bottom, so there's no excuse for getting it wrong. And with the lid off, we can carefully pull the model out, being careful not to break any of the delicate parts. As additional protection, the model has some soft paper around it. That's the model out, but also included is a nice little brochure about the real machine. And it's a nice inclusion because it's got some good photos and information. There is some packaging to remove from the model, and the first puzzle to solve is how to get that piece out from under the cab roof. And it's not something you'd want to try after having had a few beers. But the skilled technicians at Cranes etc. manage it, and they also manage to get the elastic band off. There's no assembly to do on these models because they are complete out of the box. For the detail, the roller is fairly simple. There are scrapers on the metal drums, and the smaller details on the model are all quite pleasing. The operator's controls are modelled nicely, and the rollover bar is metal. The Vögele Super 2000 is a machine aimed at Australian and US markets, and it has rubber tracks and a non-functioning material spreading screw underneath. At the rear, the hopper belt area is all modelled in metal, and a particular highlight of the model are the very small and very sharp graphics. The screed is intricate with textured walking surfaces. The control consoles are tiny and detailed, and it's interesting to compare them with the real consoles. Inside the cab there's also another highly detailed control console. We'll start with the roller, and in terms of features it's certainly very simple. The drums do rotate well, but they skid a bit on a smooth surface, and you can affect steering by having movement across the pivot point, and the steering angle is quite decent. The features of the roller are at one end of the scale, and the features of the Paver are at the other. Firstly, it can be folded for transport, so you can raise the canopy when it's in service and open up the hopper sides. Looking at the screed platform, there are two fold-down pieces for the walkways, and they provide access to the screed sections when they're pulled out to pave a wider width. This particular machine is on rubber tracks, and they roll well when you apply a bit of pressure to the model. And the whole of the screed assembly is adjustable for height. It's controlled by two hydraulic rams, and they're stiff enough to hold the screed up. When you're ready to cover your desktop in the black stuff, you can put the screed down. There are operator's seats on each side of the model, and they pull out to give the operator a better view forwards. And to keep him dry or cool, there's a pull-out canopy section. Next, if we want to get into the engine area, there are some opening panels, and they work very well because they've got nicely hinged doors, which don't flap about. So there's nice access into the sides of the engine area, and you can also get into the top as well with the opening engine cover revealing a detailed engine. Another feature inside the cab is that the console moves from side to side, and it also rotates. Beep, so here are the machines ready to be taken away to a new site, and in comes the low loader ready to pick them up. Once again, it's another job for the giant hand crane to pick up the Vögele Paver, and then position it expertly on the deck. This incredible realism continues with the hand crane picking up the roller and also positioning it on the trailer. The Weycor roller is a small and simple model, and it's got a high metal content and it's nicely made. So overall it's rated as good. That's the roller. What about the Paver? The Vögele Paver is another highly detailed model from NZG, and it matches the level of detail with some excellent functionality. The Vögele poses well with other models and is rated excellent.